Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Beyond Blood Sugar podcast. I have a question for you. We're going to start out with that. Have you ever felt like no matter how much you diet, your body keeps dragging you back to the same weight? Maybe you lose 10 pounds, but then the scale and the weight just starts to creep right back up again, almost like your body is fighting against you. Well, let me tell you, it's not your imagination, okay? This is kind of called the set point weight that your body is bringing you back to, and it's one of the biggest reasons why traditional diets fail, especially extreme diets, by the way. It's also why some people can eat whatever they want and never gain weight, while others struggle to drop even a single pound. So today we're going to break down the set point theory. We're going to keep it at a little bit of a high level, but we're going to dive deep enough to where that light bulb will go off, hopefully. And we're going to talk about what it is, why your body holds on to weight, and most importantly, how to lower your set point naturally so that your body stops working against you and starts working with you. So, if you've ever felt stuck in a weight loss battle that you just can't seem to win, perhaps your set point weight and the set point theory might offer some insight. So, let's start with the basics. Your set point weight it's not a single like number. It's a range. So it's a weight range that your body naturally gravitates towards. It's kind of like your body's thermostat, but instead of temperature, it's regulating weight. So they say that, this set point weight, this range is set early in life. So while that might be accurate, there are also many things that can alter it. And there's also many factors that play um, that have a role in this, okay? Your brain, metabolism, hormones, they all work together to kind of keep you within this range, making weight loss or even weight gain actually feel like an uphill battle. I mean, for me, growing up, I was incredibly thin, like stick skinny, to the point where I was horribly made fun of by all the boys, the girl, like everybody made fun of me because I was so skinny and I desperately wanted to have a little fat around my, like a little muffin top. I wanted weight. I couldn't, no matter what I ate, no matter what I did, I literally couldn't put on a pound. It's changed a little bit as I'm going into menopause here, but so it works both ways. The body regulates weight again, like it regulates the temperature. So when you lose weight, it might slow down the metabolism or increase hunger to kind of get you back into what it considers to be normal. And interestingly, actually, studies show that the majority of dieters will regain their weight within 5 years. The majority of them, and some even more than what they lost, and that anywhere from a third to two-thirds of that weight will be regained within the first year. Not because of lack of willpower, but because the body is designed to resist weight change. So think about it like this. If your set point is, let's say, 160 pounds, your body might adjust metabolism, hunger, even energy levels to keep you there, even when you're dieting. Have you ever noticed that after, you go on a diet for a while, maybe you start feeling hungrier or more tired, or your weight loss stalls, even though you haven't changed anything? That is your set point fighting back potentially. And again, there's different things for different people, right? We're just talking about this one particular thing. So, why does this happen? Well, a lot of it comes down to hormones and metabolism, which kind of brings us into our next point. The set point isn't just about calories. Again, it's driven by hormones, metabolism, even inflammation. So here's the thing. Your body isn't trying to make weight loss impossible just to be difficult. It's actually trying to protect you. Isn't that nice? It's trying to protect you. So your body sees weight loss as a threat. So it slows things down to keep you from starving. And I'm put that in quotes for those of you that are listening to the audio podcast, because you're not actually starving, but sometimes it goes into perceived starvation mode, and it's going to protect you at all costs, whether you want it to or not. So outside of things like genetics, epigenetics, obesogen, surgery, some of the main regulators of your set point are things like insulin, leptin, ghrelin, cortisol, inflammation levels. Um, let's break all those down real quick, actually, in some plain English here. Let's talk about insulin. So, insulin, the fat storage hormone, again, among other things, all these things I'm going to talk about have multiple functions, but I'm gonna stay within the context of what this episode is. So, for insulin, the next minute or so is going to be just about the fat storage part of it. Okay, so if insulin levels are always high, your body holds on to fat instead of burning it. I've said this before, right? And what keeps insulin high? We've talked about this too. Constant snacking, processed carbs, sugar, right? Insulin resistance, obviously. So if insulin is elevated, fat loss is nearly impossible. There's like an inverse relationship. Then let's see, we have leptin. That's kind of your fullness hormone. So, leptin's supposed to tell your brain, hey, we're good, stop eating. But if you have leptin resistance, which, is not uncommon in people with insulin resistance, your brain never quite gets the message. So you feel hungrier, even when your body has enough energy stored that it doesn't need any more. Then we have ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. Ghrelin tells you when to eat. So when you diet, ghrelin levels go up, making you crave food more often sometimes. That's why the extreme side of dieting makes you obsess over foods at time. Your body literally is screaming at you to eat. Okay. Sometimes you feel like maybe you're just making this all up in your head, right? Well, you're not. Then we have cortisol. I'm sure you guys are familiar with cortisol. This is your stress hormone, again, amongst other things. Chronic stress equals high cortisol equals higher set point weight. So, do you ever notice how stress makes you crave junk food? That's cortisol at work in part, keeping your set point higher than it should be. Then we have, inflammation, gut health. Chronic inflammation messes up everything: hormones, metabolism, digestion. If your gut microbiome is out of balance, your body clings to weight, no matter what you eat. So, now, we've talked a little bit about like what's controlling your set point. So, let's talk a little bit about why dieting often doesn't work. So if you've ever, lost weight and regained it, it's not just because you quote fell off the wagon. It's because your body fought back in many cases. Not all cases, but in many cases, it's because your body fought back. Here's what happens when you cut calories a bit too much. Number one, your metabolism slows down. So your body starts burning fewer calories because it thinks food is scarce. Number two, hunger hormones skyrocket. So your brain makes sure that you crave food, so you eat more and more and more and more. Number three is you lose muscle too, not just fat. And less muscle equals a slower metabolism. That's why I always tell people like, if you want to assist your metabolism, go start weight training, build muscle. Okay, number four is your body fights to regain lost weight. So even after you start eating, quote, normally again, your body stores more fat to prepare for the next diet. Okay, again, oversimplifying a little bit. But do any of these sound familiar? This is why ultra low calorie diets almost always fail long term. Look at the show The Biggest Loser, right? They lose horrendous amounts of weight, like really quickly. And look at how many of them gain it back. It's not sustainable. Some of them actually, I think, have total tangent here, but I looked up so within the last 6 months, like where are they now kind of thing. And there's a couple that kept the weight off, but a lot of them, gain the weight right back and relatively quickly. So you might lose weight at first, but if you don't address your set points, your body will push you like right back to where you started or beyond sometimes. So how do we fix this? So instead of forcing your body into quote starvation mode, and again, I'm putting that in quotes because it's not actual starvation mode, we we want to be able to work with this. So here's what can help lower your set point. First and foremost, snacking all day has got to go. Okay. Pretty sure I mentioned that in the last I think it was the last episode. It's got to go. Unless you have some particular thing where you're required to do so for some, medical reason or whatnot, try to give the snacking all day a break. Every time you eat, insulin rises. Keeping insulin lower between meals allows your body to actually burn fat instead of storing it. Focus on things like, healthy proteins and healthy fats and even fiber to keep blood sugars more stable. And if you've ever tried intermittent fasting, it's another great way to help insulin levels drop. Next thing is movement, exercise. You don't have to do hours of cardio. It's not helping. So what does work? Strength training, like I talked about a minute ago, building muscle. More muscle means a higher metabolism, which can help lower that set point over time. Muscle is great. Great, great, great. Next is stress. If your stress levels are through the roof, so is your set point weight. Chronic stress keeps cortisol high, which tells your body to store fat. Prioritizing stress management, whether it's, walks outside or meditation or just saying no to the things that drain you. How hard is it to say no? It's so hard, right? And then don't forget sleep. Poor sleep is a huge factor in weight gain. And finally, your gut health. If your microbiome is out of whack, your metabolism is not going to be functioning properly. Okay. So let's wrap this up with this. Your body's not broken. Okay. And you don't have to fight it to lose weight. You just need to work with it. Weight loss, again, is not just about calories, it's about hormones, metabolism, and food quality. Okay. Dieting alone doesn't work because your body adapts and not always in the way that we want it to. You can help reset your set point again, remember, by focusing on insulin, metabolism, muscle, stress, and gut health. Okay. So if today's episode resonated with you, as always, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes. And if you found this helpful and you think you have some friends and family who might need to hear it, please share the episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.